NAIOP executive board here in Orlando. I also work at Colliers International as a land broker with Trevor Hall. We serve as the land team here at Colliers. So I started as an intern here at Colliers about 3 years ago, doing an asset rotational internship program. So I spent 9 months here. Each month was a different asset class where I cycled from broker to broker, and each broker really gave me pretty much the same advice, which was, live like a college student for as long as you can for when the inevitable downturn is upon us. And I feel very grateful to have been given that advice and that mentorship through that time and well into my career here at Colliers. So it made me really value mentorship and really helped me realize how important it is to have a partner in brokerage at the beginning to teach you the do's and don'ts of any asset class of brokerage. And I feel really blessed to have been given that opportunity with Trevor Hall, who will now be giving myself as well as many other younger brokers in the industry some advice on best practices during a downturn. Trevor?
Thanks, Emily, and it's such a pleasure to work with you and others here at Colliers. I was president of our chapter close to 3 decades ago during a really tough downturn in the early 90s. And so I think I've learned some do's and don'ts, what works and what doesn't work, that I'm going to try to impart to those of you here, both young and old. The most important thing, I think, is attitude. No one wants to take a phone call from a sourpuss these days. I think you need to be of good cheer and make genuine inquiries of people as to their health and their family, and develop that personal relationship that can make such a difference in your business life. You got to work that contact management system. I think it's time to burn up the wires on the phone. It's a safe way to communicate and touch base with people you may have had prior dealings, both on the prospect side and the client side, to see if they may know of opportunities for you. One needs to be really attentive to communication in these days with a positive attitude, and tell a good story and try and bring about some laughter. Everybody needs that these days. Another thing that I think is most important is perception. We need to really be highly perceptive of the wants and needs, constraints, dislikes, likes of the contacts with whom we are communicating. And there's a company out in the research park that is inventing LiDAR, adapting it from defense use to autonomous vehicles. And that LiDAR system sees out 250 meters in all directions and displays on a screen that which is around the vehicle. I think we could all use a little bit of that in our personal perceptions these days. It's clearly mindfulness and being able to perceive that which is important. Blocking and tackling in every business is important. Information is the key. Being up to date on research and being able to impart that to people in ways that will help them, be of use to them, and also prove one's worth as a key advisor. In every business, ethics matters. In our business, it is so important to keep track of who your client is and where your fiduciary duties lie. Anytime I'm confused as to what to do, I sit back, take a breath, take some time, and perceive exactly that which my client needs to have done. That's my job description, and I think that applies across many disciplines. The importance of a deep bench cannot be overstressed. When my dad and I rescued Lambert Smith Hampton in the early 90s, we assembled a crew that included names like Marjorie Johnson, Roberta Vose, Christine Whalen, Jeff Morris, Jeff Patterson, Tom McFadden, Bill Park, many others, just real critically important people in my life with whom I enjoyed working. And we turned that company around from failing to a real success in a matter of a couple of years just because of our work for Amresco and the Resolution Trust Corporation and finding other opportunities. So having the right calling card and having the right cohort around you is of critical importance, it seems to me. Next, balance. Balance in your life. you got to work on the right mix of short, medium, long range projects and small, medium, and large scale projects. It seems to me two of my biggest failures in this business are when I was counting on large transactions to close and they completely cratered, leaving me without income after 6-8 months of intensive work. So having the right mix of singles, doubles, and triples can really make a difference. One needs to live within your means, and some of the most interesting advice I ever heard was to nudge each file as far as I can every week and then go lead an interesting and fulfilling life away from the office. When you're talking to people, you need to be leading an interesting life in order to have some good things to talk about. And so genuinely, you have to be yourself. You have to be comfortable with your strengths and be real perceptive and positive about your weaknesses and work on those. Finally, our chairman, Lee Arnold, would advise us all to fly the airplane. Simply means you're at the controls of your own airspace. And we all tend to get a little task saturated sometimes. You got to cut through that, do that which is important, do that which you've been procrastinating, and really effectively go about conducting your business. Those are my thoughts. As always, like my father, if anyone wants a critical listener and wants someone to maybe give them a key contact or go to lunch or whatever, please get in touch with me, track me down. And that's sincere. Thanks.